It is really wonderful to welcome you to Prayer Lab. It's been a few years in the making, and I'm so happy. I'll say a word about Prayer Lab and what we're doing here a little bit later. But for now, just bring yourself into this room. A few deep, slow breaths. Right now we're in the lobby. In a few minutes, we're going to be in Shabbat.
Thank you, Marie.
a laboratory. Every prayer lab is going to be a little bit different, and it's going to be a little bit different than what we typically do in this case, a Friday night service. I want to dedicate our prayers tonight to the memory of our teacher, Chazan Jack Kessler, who is one of the people. Would you just raise your hand, because I think it's an impressive group if you studied with Chazan Jack. Many of the leaders, or if you know him, you knew him as well. He was a great teacher, and in particular of opening up prayer. So we're going to do some things differently. We might skip some prayers that you love. We might stay for a really long time on a prayer. Everyone is going to be a little bit different, and we ask you to come with a spirit of curiosity and a spirit of open-mindedness and a spirit of learning. Every laboratory depends on experiments that fail. That's what we're here to learn. That's how we get better. Here's something we've already learned tonight. We should not have built our lobby with these big posters. So we're going to move our space. We're going to move our ways of expressing ourselves. We're going to move our ways of sitting. Tonight we are addressing the question of how we are going to pray these high holy days. After the year that we've had, how are we going to pray these high holy days? As always, Shabbat also reflects the week that we're coming out of. So I invite you to please get comfortable with discomfort. We're going to practice that muscle. This is our first of many prayer labs, God willing. And to prove that we're doing things differently, we will light the candles up front, but I also want to invite anybody who would like to light your own set of candles to please take a moment and head to the back table there. Maybe just take a deep breath and a personal prayer to begin this Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. Excuse me.
Let's see.
I forgot to say a few minutes ago. I said we will run some experiments that fail. I hope we'll also discover some things that work. That's what I'm going for, in case I wasn't clear. As we turn now to Kabbalat Shabbat, we're going to do a little bit differently tonight. We typically use psalms, these great psalms of joy and praise and exaltation of God. But what we decided to do is use mostly the spoken word, and we're going to share, the clergy is each going to reflect on this question. How am I going to get back onto speaking terms with God for the High Holy Days? And we'll share those words with the music of Achat Sha'alti, the song of this month.
Believing that Shabbat brought God closest to our earthly realm, our Kabbalistic ancestors ran into the fields each Friday evening, hoping to greet the divine, receive the fullness of Shabbat. Today we still begin Friday evenings with Kabbalat Shabbat, preparing to receive our tradition. As it says, Moses received Torah at Sinai, handed it on to Joshua, and after years of each generation receiving this tradition, our sages taught, be careful in judgment, raise up many disciples, and make a fence for the Torah. Each Shabbat, we hope for a gentle, calming entry into prayer and community. And yet each Shabbat this past year been a regular reminder that maybe our tradition is too heavy for any one of us to carry alone. We wonder if the fence for the Torah is to keep our tradition in or people out. For almost a year, we've received news, we've received questions, we've received threats. Nothing feels restful. For many of us this year, God, and even the idea of God, has felt distant. The world is on fire, but has not yet been consumed by that flame. Together we can learn to approach the burning bush and rediscover that Moses received a partner at Horeb, and it was revealed to be God of his ancestors, and it was revealed to be God of transformation. As it says, I will be what I will be. And it was revealed to be God who responds to suffering and calls for human action. In Torah we handed down through the generations, and three things were taught: revelation, relationship, and response. And we were left with the choice about what to do with the rest.
Okay, God, so here's the thing. I don't need to get back on speaking terms with you because I talk to you all the time. The thing is I just don't rely on you answering me. But that doesn't seem to bother me. I just keep on talking. And this week, what I'm carrying is a lot of sadness for people who loved Kazan Jack so much and who are really bereft. And I see pictures of him posted with all of my friends, and I can hear him. I can hear him teaching. And I carry that into the week, God. And I also carry in so much worry about the Middle East. It's like boiling. It's boiling. It's boiling everywhere. And I also carry in a lot of concern about the upcoming elections. It's such extremes, and we're going to be left with one of those extremes. And it's scary. So God, you're the holder of questions, and I'm just going to ask you to hold my questions and hold my worry, and that's all I'm asking, not for any answers.
My problem is not so much that so many unbelievably bad things have happened to good people this year. I mean, of course that's my problem. But we always have that problem. We always have that problem. My problem is that everywhere I look, everywhere, I see giant, juicy, salty tears, trickling down slowly or gushing like a wild river. Tears upon tears upon tears, in every corner of this earth, under every rock. Tears of loneliness and loss, tears of bereavements I cannot even say out loud. Tears of rage and betrayal and crushing disappointment in humanity. People are drowning in their own tears. It's not so much that we're not speaking to God, it's that we're having terrible trouble speaking to each other. And so in order to pray the High Holy Days of 5785, I'm going to need more people to get up close and catch each other's tears, just like that. Across boundaries, across borders, personality types, and yes, across political parties. When the tears flow, when they flow freely and naturally from the deepest wells of our broken hearts, when we see each other's tears and we love them, then I am certain our prayers will rise straight up to heaven.
Ya
think I've been hiding from you. But I cannot hide anymore. For the time is approaching to tear off the protective layer and face the truth of another year. How do I talk to you when such evil has been done? How do I talk to you when so many are broken? How do I talk to you when what I want to do is scream? Some would say it's you who was hiding. But I don't believe that. Because I saw you. I saw you in those who rescued strangers. I saw you in those who came together to help. I saw you in the pop-up kitchens and the pop-up schools. I saw you in the way we held each other against rolling tides of hopelessness and despair. You are in the unity, Adonai Echad, in the eyes of those who see, never hidden from those who can still dream, for I still believe. Anima Amin. Achat sha'alti met Hashem, o ta'avakesh. Achat sha'alti met Hashem, o ta'avakesh. Shivti b'vet Hashem, kol yemei chayai lachazot b'noam Hashem. Shivti b'vet Hashem, kol yemei chayai lachazot b'noam Hashem, ולבקר בהיכלו, ולבקר בהיכלו, ולבקר בהיכלו, ולבקר בהיכלו. And so now it's L'chadodi. Now we're asked to hold our beloved, to greet our beloved. We've just struggled with so much about prayer, but yet part of prayer is also lifting up the good, lifting up the beautiful, lifting up what is so dear to us. So in order to welcome in Shabbat, welcome in the bride, just
close your eyes for a moment and think about someone you love. Think about a beautiful part of your life. Think about how God manifests God's self in whatever way the energy and power and source in the universe manifests itself for you. That is Dodi, that is beloved.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Yala
page 36. We offer blessings, giving us strength, making our vision clear, blessings giving us peace, and the courage to dare. He used to say that all people have stars, but they're different. For travelers, guides, for scholars, problems. For others, little lights in the sky. They also used to say, when building a ship, do not begin by gathering wood and distributing work. Instead, awaken the people a longing for the vast and endless sea. And so it is with Torah. And so it is with the universe. Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv, Aravim. Page 37.
Hashanah and Yom Kippur are the times for tshuva, or the times for repentance. But actually, in the Amidah, every single day, there's a time to repent. And it's so too with miracles. We think that Hanukkah is the time for miracles, right? Nes Gadol Hayasham, the great miracle happened there. But no, every day is a time for miracles. And Mi Chamocha is all about reminding us to look at our miracles. So I'm now going to invite us all to shout out the miracles just of today. What happened today that is a miracle? Just shout it out. It doesn't have to be in that order. Okay, what else?
Shabbat.
Yep. What else?
I woke up to my wife.
You woke up. You woke up to your wife.
I got the High Holiday Choir books done.
Yay!
Knee surgery.
Woo!
I got off an airplane
Yeah.
and the title it said Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah.
My daughter is her second week of Juilliard.
Yeah. Beautiful. The
Sunny
moon.
Estrada is in Los Angeles.
Did people see the moon?
Is that a miracle?
The moon this week. So cool. Full moon. Be careful, full moon. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I am loved in so many ways. Mi Chamocha, our miracles are all around us. Page 39. We rise for the Amidah. We say whatever we feel like saying. We share our anger, our joy, our frustration, our passion, our questions, our silence. We share whatever is in our heart. We take 3 steps back, not only to make room for ourselves, but to make room for the source, the power, the force in the universe to meet us where we are.
the how and the are you, between the awakening of consciousness and the opening of eyes, between striking the match and the flame of the fire, from the moment of the kettle's whistle to the fog of its steam, from the glass falling off the table to its shattering, between the movement of plucking the harp to the first sound, between touching the speed dial to your voice answering, yes, sweetheart, it's okay now. It's okay now. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. I say I give to thee. I say
We turn to page 239, offering Anna Elna the words that Moses, the only words Moses could speak, the only words he could utter, approaching God, begging for Miriam to be healed. I pray that no one here is in a place of begging. But we don't know. We just don't know. We're in a room filled with friends, with strangers, with community. Each in need of different preparing. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. For ourselves, for our loved ones, for the world. So I want to invite us all to offer a name or names. Anyone in your life could use this blessing of repair at this time.
A non-traditional Torah text. Another answer to the question, how we get back on speaking terms with God, by Andrea Gibson. I wasn't by any means a natural. Was not one of those wow hounds, born jaw dropped. I was tough in the husk, went years untouched by rain, took shelter seriously, even and especially often in good weather. My tears like teenagers hiding under the hoods of my eyes, so committed they were to never falling. When I was told there were 7 wonders of the world, I trusted the math, believed I had seen none of them. Of course, beauty hunted me. It hunts everyone, but I outran it, hid in worry, regret, the promise of an afterlife or a week's end. Then one day, in a red velvet theater in New Orleans, I watched Maya Angelou walk on stage. 17 slow steps to the mic. She took a breath before speaking, and I could hear God being born in that breath. My every pore reached out like a hand, pointing to the first unsinkable lotus in the bayou of the universe. I had never felt anything like it. Searched the encyclopedia for the feeling's name when I got home. Goosebumps. Afterward, I thought, I can do this. Started training morning to night. Crowbar swinging like a pendulum at the wall of my chest. Tore the caution tape off my life and let everything touch it. Allen Iverson on the television in his first season with the Sixers. Crossover sharp as a V of sparrows flying through paint like Michelangelo's brush. 333 goosebumps. My baby sister, sober for the first time in 13 years, calling to tell me she just noticed our mother's eyes are green. 505 goosebumps. One day, my friend scored tickets to a Prince concert. Tiny venue. I was right behind the sound booth. Prince's entire band that evening, women. At the end of the show, the sound person turned around and whispered, he didn't play one song on his set list the whole night. I live on stages. I know what it is to scratch a plan, but not the whole trip, and still arrive to your destination 200 years before your time. 421 artists formerly known as Goosebumps. But that's just the fancy stuff. Some of them came from simple facts. It rains diamonds on Jupiter. 189 goosebumps. Blood donors in Sweden receive a thank you message when their blood is used. 301 Nordic goosebumps. One night in Ann Arbor, my friend, still undiagnosed, could not uncurl her fingers to strum her guitar, so she sang the chords instead. It was the first time in my life I'd see pain become an instrument. 10 dozen goosebumps for each and every note plucked. At one point, everything started doing it. A sincere apology, 221 goosebumps. An enemy's love poem, 222 goosebumps. The moon rising over the continental divide, my girlfriend and I thought it was a car driving off a cliff, and suddenly nothing in the world was dying. You ever felt that? A split second when nothing in the world is dying? And the next day I sharpened a tiny axe so I could split the seconds myself. Too much lives in a moment to not feel it to the fire in the heart. Slow. A Missoula treehouse filled with candlelight, 143 goosebumps. The octopus documentary, 54 goosebumps, multiplied by 8. The biggest dog in the shelter hiding behind a teacup chihuahua, and the woman who came to adopt a cat, taking all 3 of them home. 1,012 goosebumps. There's no escaping the magic now. Beauty caught me and never let me go. And the thing about the world record for goosebumps is, if someone breaks it after me, and they will break it, I will love that so much that without even trying, I will break it again. Please rise for Ali.
left goosebumps on us, and sometimes still do. I always like to think and hope that no matter how much we're breaking for those who are no longer here, that one day we can smile about how they touched our hearts and the goosebumps that they rose in our hearts. And so I want us to all think about the beauty of those that we're remembering. And maybe to share just quietly one goosebump that they caused for you. Just whisper it. Teaching a bicycle. Filling ice skating. Feeling love. Teaching comedy. This Shabbat we remember Ernest Adler, Lillian Bart, Francis Bay, Rose Better, Eleanor Brenner, Ted Buchalter, Barnhart Crystal, Joan Epstein, Florence Fox Rubenstein, Eugene Greenfeld, Bernice Klein, Genesee Levin, Irene Lichtenstein, Zoe Mazel, Helen Mandel, Marla Nager, Dahlia Esther Norber, Catherine Rabinowitz, Veronica Rappaport, Phyllis Reichman, Lee Richland, Harold Schulman, Helen Sobel, Miriam Stern, Stephen Stone, and Ernest Weitz. If you are remembering any of those people or others, if you would rise. Also, we are recognizing the recent death of Marat Zaidman, and we're in Shloshim for Ignacio Zapat, Anita Wasserman, and David Paul Rousseau. And if you're part of any of those families, please rise. And again, we're announcing the death of Kazan Jack Kessler. He won't be buried until Sunday, 11 a.m. Philly time, and then we'll start saying Kaddish for him next week. We're on page 292. If I didn't say someone who you're saying Kaddish for, if you would say their name so we can bring their goosebumps into our presence.
Gary Fine.
Eileen Landis,
And I ask the community to respond to the mourners as they lead Kaddish, page 292. Yitzchadal v'yitkadash shem Rabbaneh, v'yamad yivrakute v'yomid malkute, v'chayim hod v'yomid hod, chayim kol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimru amen, yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam v'le'amaya, Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitruma v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shemei v'kedusha v'yiru, le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, v'yishbechata v'nechemata, da'amira v'yama v'yimru amen, yehei shlama rabba v'yishmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom v'rucha, u'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yakol Yisrael Tevel, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom v'rucha,
Tonight's announcements, read everything we're sending out frequently. Come to the High Holy Days. We'll see you soon. Rabbi Calvin, would you lead us in Kiddush?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah b'anu, v'shabbat kosho v'ahava u'ratzon yitkilanu. Zikaron l'maaseh
Yeah.
Wow.
And let's rise.
Kia. That's it. We're gonna conclude the night with